All right, today we're going to dive into something really special. It's an ancient Tamil prayer for protection, and it calls upon one of the most fascinating and, mysterious figures in all of yogic tradition, the immortal sage Kaka Bhujandar.
So let's jump right in. The very first line, it sets this incredible cosmic stage. We're introduced to this merciful guru, this guide who takes the form of a crow. But here's the wild part. This isn't just a wise being. He exists completely outside the flow of time. And the whole prayer, from start to finish, is basically a powerful call for his protection.
Okay, so before we really dig into the verses and what they all mean, we've got to understand who is this incredible being at the center of it all. Yeah, we're not talking about just any old sage here. Kaka Bhujandar is what's known as a Chiranjeevi. That means he's immortal. And not just lives for a long time immortal. We're talking about someone who has literally watched entire universes be created and then destroyed. Just let that sink in for a second. An eternal witness to cosmic history. You can imagine his teachings, his protection, they carry a kind of weight that's almost impossible for us to wrap our heads around. So I know what you might be thinking. An eternal being who shows up as a crow. It sounds a little strange, right? But in yogic symbolism, nothing is random. Every form has a really deep meaning. And as you're about to see, the crow, well, that's just one part of the story. There's a lot more to him. In fact, that first verse we looked at, it actually gives us a hint about his three main forms. You've got Kaka, the crow, which is all about that timeless, all-seeing viewpoint. Then there's Naga, the serpent, which represents his command over that deep, esoteric, cosmic energy. And finally, Yoga, the perfected master, the ultimate spiritual guide for anyone on the path.
Okay, so now that we've got a better picture of who we're talking about, let's look at how these first couple of verses really establish the sheer scale of his protective power.
And this is where things get really interesting. You see this amazing duality in him. Verse 1 says he stands beyond time. He's totally outside of it. But then look at verse 2. It says he appears throughout time, through all the different ages, or yugas, to share his teachings. So he's both outside of everything, and at the same time he actively steps into history to guide people. It's a pretty incredible concept.
Now, one thing you'll notice woven through this whole prayer is this one single powerful word, kape. And it's so much more than just a word. The way it's repeated, it becomes a mantra. It's like an anchor that grounds the whole prayer in this deep, fundamental request for divine protection.
All right, moving on. The prayer starts to shift a little here. It goes deeper into the specific kinds of blessings and gifts that this timeless guru offers to people who follow him. And check this out. There are really two different levels of grace being offered. In verse 3, you're talking about the ultimate spiritual gift, immortality, deathlessness itself. I mean, wow. But then verse 4 brings it right back down to earth with something super practical, the wisdom you need to get through the struggles of our own time, right now.
And that's why this idea of the Kali Yuga is so important to understand. In Hindu cosmology, that's the age we're in right now. It's known as the age of strife, full of conflict and confusion. So you can see why that promise in verse 4 isn't just some abstract idea. For people who believe this, it's a powerful, super relevant blessing that offers them clarity in a chaotic world.
So we've gone from the cosmic to the spiritual, and now the prayer brings it even closer to home. It starts to talk about the quality of our actual day-to-day lives.
And the language here it's beautiful, so poetic. He's described as cool water for a thirsty person, as the nectar of time, even as a wish-fulfilling tree that gives you everything you need. These aren't just pretty words, These metaphors paint a really clear picture of a kind of grace that can totally change your destiny, even your material life.
And then verse 6 adds this whole other layer. It says he reveals the secret of the Sukshmam. This is huge, because it shows his protection isn't just something happening out there. It goes deep inside the person, into their own subtle energy body. It's targeting the main energy channel that's the key to unlocking higher states of consciousness.
Okay, we're coming to the end now, and these last two verses, they really build to this incredible climax. They reveal the ultimate goal of all this guidance, which is complete and total spiritual liberation.
And you can see a really clear progression here. Verse 7 sets him up as the ultimate teacher, right? The one who can see the past, present, and the future. But verse 8 takes it to the next level. It's not enough to just get wisdom. He gives you the actual path, the how-to, so you can use that wisdom to reach the highest goal.
And that path, it's laid out so clearly, it's like a three-step process. First, you have bhakti, which is all about devotion, a real heartfelt connection. Then, that devotion awakens shakti, your own inner spiritual energy, your power. And finally, that energy, with the Guru's guidance, leads you to the final step, Paramapada Mukti, which is just ultimate freedom.
And the whole thing closes with this really powerful blessing. It suggests that the sound of the prayer itself, its vibration, what's called the Narpavi Nadam, is a source of all kinds of benefits. And it's all sealed with that final powerful call for protection. Just beautiful.
So, when you think about it, this ancient prayer offers a connection to something completely timeless, right? A source of stability that just doesn't waver in a world that is constantly changing. And it kind of leaves you with a question to think about. In our own crazy, fast-paced world, what does the idea of an eternal, unwavering protector like this really mean to you?